Hey guys, even here, and in this video we're gonna have a lot of physique updates, a lot of bodybuilding news, and also some conspiracy theories of a sort by myself. So we're gonna have some fun in this video, but let's open it up with a Kamal Elgargni's physique update. So here is his physique update, and he's your current 212 Mr. Olympia, and damn, he looks impressive. He looks really full, really big, and really straight and really hard and thick and full and shredded. So basically everything. But really, I'm surprised with this fullness. And when guys are this full, they don't usually have this kind of hardness, this kind of deep separation at the veins and everything. So, of course, he's not even close to contest shape. I mean, he's not, yeah, if he competed like this, he would probably win any show aside from Mr. Olympia, maybe. But for him, when he wants to win the Mr. Olympia, he comes extra hard, extra conditioned, extra crispy. So at this point, at how many? 2 months before the big show, he looks amazing. He looks amazing, and can really George Peterson beat him? Honestly, guys, I may have hyped up that kind of that story of George winning the Mr. Olympia, but right now I don't think that's gonna happen. No, I don't think so, really. The only guy who has a chance of taking the title away from Kamal is, of course, Derek Lunsford, but he needs to come extra peeled, which never happened pretty much. And also there is Keone Pearson, who may surprise us all because he looks really impressive at this point as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he wrote his weight in one of his posts, and he said something about 212, and he's not contest ready yet. And there is the hydration process that can, it can dry you down, and you can lose like 10 pounds, even more. I mean, some people lose like 30, even more than 30 pounds, but that's like the bigger bodybuilders who need to make the weight cap. How much can Keone lose? He lose about 10 pounds. Yeah, easily. That's easy. I mean, it happened to me. I lost about 10 pounds in day or two before the show, and Keone is much bigger than me, so at least 10 pounds. So he's gonna be way below the weight cap, in my opinion. I mean, based on what I saw, based on his update, based on his weight right now. But he looks like he's an open bodybuilder. So imagine how will he look when he finally has to diet down like crazy and then fit the weight cap. If he's like 250 in the off season and then he diets down and then he loses like 20 pounds of water weight before the weighing, and then he carbs up and comes a little bit fuller in the meantime, that's going to be an insane physique, and that can be a contender to win the Mr. Olympia in 212 and stay there for who knows how long, and then eventually move to the Open and then maybe even dominate over there too. So I expect really big things from Keone. Antoine Vaillant, that's how you pronounce his last name. I have been pronouncing it wrong all this time, and recently I learned how to pronounce it properly, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, most people actually say it the wrong way because you read what you see, and yeah, the last name of his is pronounced Vaillant, something like that, Antoine Vaillant. I'm probably butchering it again, but something like that, it's pretty close, I'm sure. Anyways, this is his update, most muscular. He looks really good. Like, Antoine, he's known for his legs. That's his strength. Upper body is pretty much, you can call it a weakness for him, the entire upper body, considering the fact that his legs are like one of the biggest legs in the world right now. They are definitely in the ballpark of Big Ramy. Right now, his upper body looks absolutely full and huge. There is an interesting fact that between the New York Pro and Tampa Pro, the Tampa Pro that he won and that he qualified for the Mr. Olympia by winning that show, between these two shows, he had about 1,000 grams of carbs every single day. And he didn't get watery, he kept his fullness, he came fuller and harder, and he won the damn thing, he won the show. So I'm sure that right now they are carving it up even higher, and he still stays really lean, really dry and hard. So I'm sure that if he keeps this kind of body fat percent and this kind of low water retention, he's gonna come bigger and fuller and harder and everything at the Mr. Olympia, and he can be one of those bigger surprises at that show because he's gonna be one of the biggest guys up there. I'm telling you that much. I recognize his potential, not only physique-wise, but mentality. I noticed how devoted he is and how bad he wants it. A long time ago. Many people thought that he doesn't have it. I saw it. I saw it with James as well, and I was right. These guys both qualified for the Mr. Olympia, and we're gonna see them collide against each other. And I expect that Antoine, I'm pretty sure Antoine is gonna look much better than he looked at a Tampa Pro, much bigger, fuller, and that's gonna be an insane package. And we can expect, I mean, honestly, guys, I think he can crack the top 5, top 6. This is a huge prediction. This is really bold to say, but I think that is a possibility. It's a possibility because if he really ups the food that much, and I'm sure he's doing that, he's gonna come much bigger. So this is just a bold prediction. Don't quote me on this, but let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. I expect that, honestly. Talking about James Hollingshead, this is him right here. A really nice looking side tricep, really thick physique. He really gained a lot of muscle in the meantime, and there will be a lot of talk about James in the future now, way more than before. I talked about him before, but you guys didn't really show a lot of interest in him, so I didn't really mention him that much, that often, but I'm definitely gonna do it more often because I'm a huge fan of him and his physique. Here is the what we expected to be the top 3, but it wasn't. Lucas Osladil kind of popped into the mix and he took that second spot, so that that made some kind of disturbance, let's call it, in the industry, because Lucas is somebody who is not really in the industry. Like, he's from Czech Republic. He doesn't show his life, he doesn't show anything on social media. He just shows up in good shape and he wins and he places high and he goes to the Mr. Olympia and does everything. But there are guys like Regan who are giving us a lot of content, who has a lot of fans, and who kind of, didn't make it because of Lucas. Rafael Brandao, though, he did it. But Regan, he wasn't good enough. I mean, from the front, he was too flat. Look at the chest. The abs also seemed a bit washed away. The quads didn't have that deep separation, that hardness that his backside fully had. So he didn't qualify. He does have a lot of points. He's like in that top mix, but there is Chicago Pro, and that's gonna change things. So he posted this. He posted a video of himself posing, showing us the way he looks, and basically kind of trying to tell us that he looks good enough to be at the Mr. Olympia stage, but unfortunately, due to COVID, he cannot travel to Chicago because when he returns to Canada, he needs to be quarantined for 2 weeks, and Chicago is happening before that, so it's not going to happen. He's not going to be able to travel to Chicago Pro and qualify for the Mr. Olympia, but this is... I'm pretty sure that these kind of situations will be resolved by the Mr. Olympia staff, and I'm expecting them to invite Regan Grimes because he's leading with the points right now. I think he's the top guy there. Big Ramy is in the 3rd spot, so I expect Regan to be invited because Chicago Pro is gonna get a lot of points to other competitors, and they're gonna beat guys like Regan and guys like Ramy. Now, let's get to that conspiracy theory that I have for you, that I mentioned briefly in the previous video yesterday, but let's maybe talk a little bit more about it today. It is very important that you guys understand that I don't have any internal info. there is nothing. This is just me assuming, this is just me speculating and having fun. But this is just, I think it's logical, I think it's common sense. I'm not saying that it is the only outcome, of course. It's probably not the case. Like, there is a small percent of it being true, but still there is some. So, Big Ramy, one of the biggest names in the bodybuilding industry, probably the biggest potential to win the Mr. Olympia right now, aside from the current champ and the previous champ like Phil and Brandon. The 3rd guy who can win the show is probably Big Ramy if he comes in shape. He was 2nd at 2017 Mr. Olympia, and he is the Big Ramy. Everybody loves him, everybody is amazed by him. He is the biggest bodybuilder ever, probably. So I'm sure that Chad actually talked about this. Chad said that they're gonna prep for the Spain Pro, but they're not gonna really push it to the max. And then they posted that video, and Big Ramy didn't seem to be in shape. So we all thought, well, maybe he's not even gonna win it. Maybe he's gonna qualify by being 3rd or 2nd. So maybe these guys realized that they didn't want Ramy to lose momentum, to be 2nd, And well, I hate to say it because it was a really good show. The guys were really in shape, they were really good, but it's a second tier show. Big Ramy is known for beating guys like William Bonac, Brandon Curry, Rolly Winkler, the top guys, the real top guys, even Sean Roden at some shows, and Dexter Jackson as well. So Big Ramy, he only didn't beat Phil Heath. And if Big Ramy showed up at 2018 Mr. Olympia the way he looked in 2017, he would have beaten Phil, and he would become the Mr. Olympia. So that's like the top bodybuilder. They realize that if he's not in shape, he's probably not going to win the show. Like, James looked really good. So do they want to risk losing momentum? And also, do they really want to push Big Ramy and make him suffer for the show and then suffer again for the Mr. Olympia when they can just fake this COVID positive tested and then expect the Olympia to give Big Ramy a special invite? I mean, I'm 99% sure that they will give it to him. Now, was Big Ramy really positive on COVID? We don't know that. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. But if that was a strategy, it's a good strategy. It's smart because I'm sure Big Ramy will get that invite. Hopefully this time around he will test negative and he will get to the Mr. Olympia and hopefully even win, because that would be a huge upset. I would love to see that. I wouldn't like to see the same champ again. Although it's probably going to happen, but is it going to happen? There is an update of Brandon Curry. And take a look at this. Wow, what an amazing back. What an amazing upper body. The shoulders, the arms, the back, the V-taper, the tiny small waist, everything is just spot on. But then you take a look at the legs downstairs, and it really reminds me of a man's physique. Right? I mean, he looks like a man's physique guy in shorts. Of course, his upper body is the size of 3 man's physique guys. But the symmetry, the proportion, the size of his upper body compared to his legs, it's not good. It's not good. I am sure that he's going to make improvements, but he cannot grow his legs too much. He will probably, make some improvements on the depth of the separation, on the adductor and abductor development and these kind of details, but he won't probably grow bigger and fuller around their legs. Maybe a little bit, and maybe he will create the illusion, but he will still lack in that symmetry department, and it might be just enough for Phil Heath to edge him out or anybody else. What do you guys think? Me, personally, classic physique, classic bodybuilding, open division, whichever division it is, I like to see dominant legs. I like to see the legs to be way more dominant than the upper body. I don't want to see the legs that are matching the upper body. And hell no, I don't want to see the legs that are weaker than the upper body. That's like the worst case scenario for me. And that's the biggest knock that I have on Brandon's physique. His upper body is going to be even better this year, I'm sure. But I just hate it when I see this kind of symmetry. And that's why I'm saying he's probably one of the worst Mr. Olympias ever. Even though I love his upper body, it's super amazing, but the symmetry, it's really important to me. Whatever you guys think, tell me down below in the comment section. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and please subscribe for more bodybuilding videos like this. All the best, guys, and keep it old school.